Howdy, folks. It's Johan, your favorite little ink blob, back at it today with some more Murders at Karlov Manor draft. We are, as the title says, down to our last fully saved up draft. Did not realize that clicking on it took you to more gems. Good to know. Um, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully, we'll have enough for a draft tomorrow. If not, we're going to be jamming a lot of standard, I think. But I did realize that one of the things that's very different for me this time is I haven't been watching some of my favorite streamers while they're doing their drafts, which is a fantastic way to get a lot more information about the set before you're cracking into it yourself. So, binge watched some Newmont last night, fantastic guy, and we'll see if his opinions and watching him make his punts helps me work through mine ahead of time. In any case, let's crack in and hopefully turn this thing around. Ugh. If we, if, because I'm sure we'll go 7-0 and have no losses, if we do switch over standard, you may notice that my pip count has dropped a little bit because, man, I do a lot of late night, let's just try and do some grinding while I'm tired and putting off sleep. So, apologies. I'm going to work on that because I want to start on time. But there's also part of me that says, keep doing it, just record it. Okay. Well, I think 10th District Hero is quite good. A 2-mana 2/3, I'm totally happy with. But on top of that, being able to grow with a several collect evidence triggers, or several collect evidence abilities, I think is quite fantastic. And yeah, I think we absolutely go with that. If not that, I think the Leering Onlooker is pretty good, Crime Stopper Sprite, and I'm starting to come around on Gadget Technician. I mean, it's a 3/2 that enters with a 1/1 flyer. I think that's honestly just pretty good. But 10th District Hero. Ooh, do we have a fantastic green-white deck? I think we might. I haven't actually done green-white here before, but I think there's some very solid potential for it. Seasoned Consultant, I really love white in this set. And green, I think if we get the 1/3 with reach that like grows your disguise creatures, I think can be quite fantastic. But yeah, we will absolutely take a sharp-eyed rookie here and hope for some sort of green-white, lovely little aggressive deck, I think. All right, so we could take a dog walker, but we would probably just be turning it face up. I mean, it's, very early. I'm not going to fully commit to two colors. I don't think that's a reason to change from these two very good first picks. This is only power. Oh no, power or toughness. Good to know. Only one detective. I think the pick here is, actually, I think it's probably the Crowbot Hunch. This just makes your things big and is a repeatable threat that is also on an empty board, can turn into 2 1/1s, which I think makes it a lot better than normal. We are seeing kind of green and white drawing up. Not completely, but this is some very good black. I still think we will take the Vengeful Creeper, but we might keep an eye on something more like a black-white aggressive deck, potentially. Chalk Outline, I don't think... Yeah, I am not a huge fan of that, but a Fanatical Strength and a Griffknot Tracker. I think I have been severely undervaluing combat tricks. Griffknot Tracker, though, is also just a very solid flyer. I'm going to take the Griffknot Tracker. I think we can probably wheel a Fanatical Strength, or at least pick up another one later on. Escape Tunnel fixes us. Agency Coroner if we did go white-black, but even then I don't like it in that, and Slime I don't think is fantastic. So I think we're going to take the Escape Tunnel. in case we end up needing to fix a bit. So, yeah, I don't think we will necessarily wheel that +3/+3 combat trick, but I suspect we will see some other ones later. Um, okay, we could take another Vengeful Creeper. Wow, late concealed weapon. But I think we've got this Make Your Move, which I have been a big fan of. It deals with a lot of big, scary threats, and also some threats that we aren't often answering. The Vengeful Creeper also helps with those sort of alternate threats. But I like having something that can just exile a big old boy. Bum, 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 bum. It is a lovely blue morning outside today, and it's nice to actually be in front of a window. Okay, another concealed weapon. Okay. I think we can take it on the job. Not sure how I actually feel about playing it, but I think one is not too bad. I don't like the second one. Blue is also... We might end up going blue-white. Yeah, we'll take the Crime Stopper Sprite. I think that's just a solid card. I'll also take the Rebel Belt Braggart. Sanctuary Wall. So, shut stuff down. Can grow Sharp-Eyed Rookie. I think we're hoping to not play it, but we might end up. We do have some red there. Cryptex, not what you want to open. Okay. Detective Satchel, I've often kind of just glazed over, but it's a lot better than I thought. Especially if you've got the red Thopter Maker thing. Forget the name of it. The 2/3 for 4. Here, I think we can pick up a Night Watch. I do think the Reverse Hellion is quite good. But I think it's a little awkward since we aren't currently planning on playing red. And if we were, there's a decent chance we'd be cutting green anyway. Lead Spatter Analysis? No. But I do love the Tipster. Sample Collector could also be decent. Seasoned Consultant I think is fantastic. But I'm going to take the Tunnel Tipster here. Get some ramp and help make our disguise creatures even better. So yeah, so it becomes 4/4 with vigilance for only 2, which is fantastic, and then it can become a 5/5 that gives other creatures indestructible. So that's fantastic. Oh, Well, okay, so we could take a Market Watch Phantom or a Crowd Control Warden, but this Delany, ooh, how much? We don't actually necessarily get a lot of value out of it, but I think with power 2 or less triggers. I don't know if that would actually trigger the Sharp-Eyed Rookie the first time. I'll need to check. I think we'll take this. We may not play it, but I think it's worth speculating on. Audience with Justani is not what we're looking to do. But I do think a Due Diligence can be quite good aggressively. We might really end up wishing that was the Crowd Control Warden, but we shall see. Ooh, well, okay. I do like the Eavesdropper, but Inside Source is a prime example of the type of thing that we want with Delny. Makes one body and makes a number of our creatures more threatening. With Delny, it makes extra. I think that is fantastic. The Vidu-Ghazi Inspector, I think we can also take. Because, yeah, so Delny, it's just an ability of a creature power 2 or less. So I guess that would even let us technically double Vidugasi Inspector. Double flying. Still don't think we necessarily take a Hellion here. I think we'll take the Market Watch Phantom and just really kind of go aggressive. Airtight Alibi, I think might be a little sketch in this deck, but I think we can still take one. A possibility. Here we will take the Riftburst Hellion. Ah, howdy Cholera, how's it going? My goodness, what is it with me these days and not having the chat open? There we go. We will take a happy little seasoned consultant right here. I looked at the chat, I thought about it, and for some reason. Well, how's it going today, Cholera? Preening at this together with the official Magic Twitch. Ah! I haven't been keeping up with stuff an awful lot, but it is one of the, like, fancy qualifier weekends going on, right? Question mark? Okay. Okay. Sure, a deadly complication. Well, we are green-white, and it's a green-white rare. I don't think this is one we take. But what else do we take? Probably a bite down on crime. Not too fully submerged in it yet? Fair enough. Well, if you are, let me know. Keep me updated. I might check it out after I get done with this draft. Although I'm really hoping today we end up going a bit longer than we have been the past few times. I think we'll take the bite down on crime here. I do think there's an argument for the other Griffnot tracker, but we are a little light on removal. Treacherous terrain, interesting. Eavesdropper, I think, is quite good. Essence of Antiquity, I'm kind of coming around on. I have been ignoring this. I think 10 toughness is a lot. It can get destroyed by something like a Vengeful Creeper, but it also gives a turn of hexproof. I'm gonna take the Eavesdropper here since I think we're more aggressive, but I'm seeing why that exists. Could take a second bite. We've got 2 pieces at the moment, and not a lot of ways to take advantage of the cheapening effect, I think. But it is a fantastic piece of aggressive removal. I do think we're going to take the Night Watch here, though. Buried in the Garden. Fantastic. This is the type of removal we were really looking for. And it's one that I haven't gotten to play yet. So, awesome. Aha. The rope. We will not be taking the rope, but Crowd Control Warden, I do think, gets in quite happily. Take another Market Watch Phantom. Could also do Nervous Gardener, and with Delny, double land. Berry, berry, bury. Bribery. But it is probably just the Market Watch Phantom. Inside Source number 2. Love it. What? No one wants the triple blue, very conditional rare that I can see being kind of good in some constructed formats, but probably not limited. Case of the Uneaten Feast, or Doorkeeper Thrall, or the third Inside Source. I think we do actually take and play the third Inside Source. It's quite solid. The double white rare there is kind of funny, though. If not tracker. Is there something we're cutting to play another one with an already kind of heavy 4 slot? I don't think so. I'm going to take Relive the Past. Getting a little greedy. Sanguine Savior. Don't think we were playing just Morph Out, but we might. Dogwalker. Same dealio. Actually, yeah, no, we're not going to do They Went This Way. That's really the hope. We'll take another Make Your Move, I think, and Sanctuary Wall. But yes, no, if nothing else, my ego needs it to not. My ego needs this to be at least 3 wins. But we will see. I think this is a fairly decent deck. We need to make 2 cuts. Riftburst Hellion is a wee bit awkward, but the Buried in the Garden gives us an option to just hard cast it. Delaney, how much do we actually have? So we have triple Inside Source. We have Tunnel Tipster the first time. Seasoned Consultant would double trigger. Right? Because, yeah, the ability triggers on attack while it has, if an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Not an intervening if, so it's not a double check. So that would double up. Okay. I do think that's honestly enough, especially, making our little things be somewhat more evasive. I think it's worth a shot. So I think we're probably cutting something, probably the Sanctuary Wall. It's a bit goofy. We've got a lot of decent 2-drops, which I like. And then we need to trim one more thing. Let's do the T-Kriet. And yes, I will not forget the mountains here. Otherwise, I would probably scream. So we've got Buried in the Garden, Bite Down on Crime, Animate, and 2 Make Your Moves. I think we actually cut a Make Your Move here. We'll see how we're feeling removal-wise, but I think we are on the beatdown plan, so I think we can be a little more removal light and focus more on just focus more on trying to hit them so that we can just get around rather than be worried about removing their big stuff quite so much. There will always be big things we need to remove. But I think this is decent. We've got some good aggressive rares going on. Let us see. Actually, I think Jetmir is kind of good. We do have a bit of red with the... the Hellion. There we go. That might also be part of my problem, is drafting on, 4 hours of sleep consistently. But we're having a good time. Sure. We've got them eggs. So we're some green-white nonsense. With lots of little wimpy guys, and then sharp-eyed rookie looking for bigger guys. I don't know if I have a clever name in me. Short fish, tall fish, clean fish, white fish. Apparently Dr. Seuss is the pinnacle of my comedic ability this morning. Because I'm having 4 hours of sleep. Oh, don't stop me now, because I'm having 4 hours. 4 hours of sleep. I'm a streamer, streaming through the tombs on the internet. Is this a good indication of how the draft is going to go? We will take the mulligan, and we will keep this shipping off a forest. Howdy, Jim. I'm glad that you'll be here to deliver our beating, I suppose. What is this avatar? Is this one of the psychographic profile ones? Looks like art that was made of a Timmy or a Johnny. Not Johnny, because I actually am familiar with that portrait. I can actually pick that out of the crowd. And Spike. Nope. I think we're good. That's Kellen? Wow. I would not have placed that as Kellen. I believe you. I just unexpected. Yes, I'm familiar with the little fairy boy spawn of Oko, been helping out with the investigative scene, but did not expect it. Well, that was awkward not drawing a 3-drop. We can equip. I don't think equipping does an awful lot here. We could do diligence. We're losing a fair bit of value on it, but this lets us attack and block. If they have a removal spell or combat trick, we're kind of feeling bad, but it's something. This is kind of what that plan wants to do, although typically you like to have a 1 or another 2-drop or something. Okay, because yeah, I know he's currently green-blue. Ah, so they have the felonious rage. We'll let them do that on blocks, I think. Man, yikes, okay. We are going to Buried in the Garden something. I also think we do attack in. We have them do it defensively. I mean, they're still going to do it anyway. Ugh. But at least we're hitting a more important card potentially. No, they don't do it. So I'm guessing they really like that card. However, I'm going to do... Let's enchant our forest. And then let's hit their inside source. So that they can't pump it up as a sorcery for free. The next turn we should be able to bite down on crime through the ward, potentially. We would love the option to do something else, though. And we don't attack, since they'll just be able to... We don't attack because they can just double block it. We've got 4, 5, 6, so yes, we are good to do this. I believe Buried in the Garden is only for creatures. No, non-land permanent. Oh, wow. That is even more fantastic than I thought. Good catch. Should have been reading the cards better myself. Crowd Control Warden, happy to get that. But yeah, we are not just going to trade our only creature for 2 of their 2-drops. I wonder if that attack was made because they thought Inside Source was instant speed. No? Okay. Well, this probably cycles a card in their hands, but I think we gotta try. So it is a Felonious Rage. Right? Auspicious Arrival, okay. I am a little happier with that outcome. We can Night Watch and equip. Although we might even actually want to sacrifice the haunch for the 1/1s. Just basically trade the haunch for both of those. We couldn't have done that this turn, but and played the Night Watch, but we will block here. Probably end up trade. I'm pretty sure we trade with almost anything they can flip up on that amount of mana. Gadget Technician, alright. So yeah, so here we will inside source, and then probably pop the haunch. That sounds weird to say. I'm even gonna get aggressive with the 2/2. Okay, shock it. Ace of the Burning Masks. Probably kill the 2/2. Okay. So lots of removal. And they'll get to Impulse Draw after surveilling. Yes, we will do the onboard trick. We would love some non-land cards. That is a great example of a non-land card. Good job, deck. Hit you for 1. And I do think we save the clue to get aggressive. Pretty far away from your first penny off streaming. But would you be open for a subathon later on this or next year? You know, it's if I do ever hit the point where I have subscribers, probably. I've actually been thinking a little bit. It would be a while off yet, but I have been trying to think a little bit about the concept of doing some more like endurance streaming type stuff does tickle me. And since I do like roguelikes and also enjoy playing older games sort of in order, I really want to play. Oh, okay, they're just conceding. I'm sorry, opponent. I was just talking about the future. Something that I think would be fun. Right now I'm still at the sort of chill point. Right now I'm streaming because it helps me build routine in my day, and I enjoy interacting with folks, and it's helping me work through a backlog. It's fun. It's mostly for me. I appreciate you sticking around. I do want to have some fun with it when I have a bit more energy. I'm a bit more used to it, so I can be a bit more flexible. I would love to try and do some more like challenge-esque type things, because I think that's a fun way to sort of do storytelling in a stream, I imagine. A bit more compelling. Um, and I think one that would be fun for me, at the very least, would be to pick a handful of the sort of like roguelike games I enjoy. Things like Slay the Spire and hell, even some of the like Hearthstone games, Hades, Binding of Isaac, and pick like 5, 6, 7 of them, figuring that a run often takes me anywhere from an hour to 2 hours for a lot of them, and go for probably 10 plus hours going in order until I beat a run of the game, stream till I drop or get through it, basically. So some stuff like that I think would be fun. Doing a subathon, I think I could also have some fun with if I ever get to that point. So yes, I am open to the concept. All right. Well, hey, already not an 0-3. Feeling good. Not having to intersperse a round of Boros Convoke. Jara 97. Yara? Wow, we are getting some fantastic opening hands, but crash. We've got a lot of 2-drops we can draw into. Don't bank on it, but it's possible. And this gives us 3-drop, 4-drop, and some removal. I think we do need to draw some good stuff, but I think this is a keepable hand and probably better than our average 6. Well, what do you know? Sometimes the magic gods are kind. Sometimes. Sanitation automaton. Dun dun dun. We could kill it. It's an artifact. Gonna get you. However, so we are going to need to disguise out the Riftburst Hellion anyway, and this we can hit on 5 potentially in this deck. I'm so unused to that. So I think we will just go with the Riftburst Hellion. It enters as a 2/2 since you flip it down first. Look at me actually trying to learn the rules properly. Triggers, and we get to fly over. They get to swing in for 2 as well, but such is life. Their little sanitation automaton, making the city run. We will not block. We would love that second green source, but here I do think... I say I do think before I fully thought. I could be fine getting aggressive with the Riftburst Hellion. I probably should be more comfortable doing that. We can't currently cast it. And I'm very bad at looking at... I like to go, ooh, but it will turn into this. It won't necessarily. But I don't think we're necessarily in enough of a beatdown, so I think we're going to attack with just the 2/2, hold this back potentially defensively. Probably not, but we can argue it. We can pretend. And run out the Eavesdropper. Plus, it's an extra point of power and toughness for our crowd control warden, right? And there's the second green source. Alright. And I think I actually just run out the crowd control warden pre-combat. This, I have a sense, is going to flip up probably into a Night Watch. So I don't want to attack with just the Eavesdropper. However, trying to think if there's things that will undisguise into like a 2/3 or a 3/3. I don't think there are. I'm going to test it with the 2/2. Okay. So no turn 4 play. Well, I think we... Oh, right, we can unmorph it. Oh, that's kind of disgusting. Because, yeah, I don't think... So we could clue attacking with both and inside source holding up make your move. That might actually be better. So I'm going to do that. It digs us deeper. We can flip up the Hellion at another point. And I think they're going to be a lot more laser focused on the crowd control warden at the moment. I do like that we just drew a Krovod Haunch, which we will be able to play this turn. And now I'm suddenly worrying about the White Wrath. Although I think they would have blocked if that were the case. As it stands... That's one of the things that I don't like about how many more rares there are, is I actually have to worry about those things, because it's a lot more likely that they do have the Wrath. In which case, I think we're already in a commanding enough board position that we don't need to commit more to the board. I mean, they've been holding a lot of cards and missing plays. And right now we have lethal on board. What have you got, opponent? Are you trying to figure out why I didn't equip the Haunch? 3/1/1 tokens. Okay. That does help a lot. I'm actually going to make your move one of the Thopters. No. That is wasteful. Okay. So we did kind of waste a turn there. But I think we're still okay. We will do diligence to give vigilance and make this lethal. We will continue to hold up, make your move. They could let this through, but I'm hoping they won't because they should be scared about us flipping it up. We attack in, they triple chump block. Yep, I am unsurprised. And I think we once again hold up, make your move. We're doing good. I am worried about the Wrath. I think they would have played it last turn if they had it, but... Glint Weaver. Okay, they get to put some counters on things. But we can probably just remove it. Okay, they are making that big, which we cannot just remove on our turn. And they gain life. Fantastic. For them. Another inside source. Then at this point, I will attack with our big creatures. If they block here, we just flip it up and eat it. So we could deal 8 to them, but that would be our entire turn. So I think we will just deal the 4. And then destroy their warded creature. The worst part is... Okay. Well, I think then we can say conclusively they didn't have the Wrath. But... Or at least not in hand. I don't know, that was just... they were skipping a lot of plays. We were still in a very commanding position. And if... That is the type of... You need to be... There... You can tell how articulate I am. There have been a number of games that I have lost in this format, and I have now watched Newmont lose in this format by not accounting for the bombs. Because there's 2 to 3 rares and mythics per pack most of the time. And technically 1 to 3, but a lot of the time you're seeing like 2 per. So rather than there be 24 rares floating around, you're often... I don't know the exact average. I would hazard a guess that there's probably 36, 40 floating around out of 280 rares in the set. Obviously, not everyone is going to have first pick, but the chances of running into a particular rare, especially because I think people are going to pick them less highly, and so it's going to be a bit more selective, a lot higher. So I have to be concerned, or at least I feel like I have to be concerned. I think we were winning that game fairly handily, unless they did play something like that, unless they played a Wrath. I guess they could have removed our 7/7, but that probably would have taken most of the turn, and we had a backup. Ooh, here we have some of our good 2-drops. So I think we will probably Market Watch Phantom into Face Down Riftburst Hellion, and then 10th District Hero. If the Market Watch Phantom has already died, we can District Hero and make it a 4/4 that turn. Also, notably, not only as a sorcery. Trigger that, fly in, and then next turn we either probably do the Eavesdropper and get that going. And we're 2-0 right now, better than we've been doing. So, happy about that. And our opponent is not matching our curve out. Now, if they play the Wrath, I am going to make some unhappy noises. Okay, they can't do it this turn. Oh no, they can. That isn't the one where you tap a creature for it. So they're holding up 1 mana of any color after playing a disguised creature. Terrifying. Probably a toxin analysis. So I think what I'm going to do is crack the clue, see what we draw. Run out the land. And disguise out the Vengeful Creeper to give the Phantom flying. I guess this could also be the reach spell, so make it 3/3. I think we're aggressive enough that we can beat down with that, accepting that there's a decent chance it dies. Oh, it's just Nervous Gardener. Okay. So they're... If this is a Niv miss it... Makeshift Binding, the Loxodon. Okay. If we draw a land, we get to destroy that and hit in with a 5/5. We do not. So I will smack on in. Fantastic. And so we only have that 1 in our graveyard, so that's kind of overkill. So I think instead, let's get some flying power down, especially since these can all trigger this to fly. Get rid of something in their graveyard. I do find it interesting that there have been a number of 2 cards from a single graveyard. I'm curious what that's... why that's been their choice from a design perspective. I'm sure there's a good reason. I'm just not currently able to bring to mind what... I mean, it prevents you from getting some triggers off, like Insidious Roots or whatnot. From getting extra triggers, like hitting 1 and then also hitting something in their graveyard. Okay, well, I think we attack in, flip this up, trade, get our thing back, hit them to 1. I think that's good, right? Because then if they don't block it, they just die. Yep. You've correctly identified the problem. Okay. Well, hey. Haven't you heard? Apparently this is an easy draft format, and only fools would be getting a whole bunch of sub-3 win runs. I'm happy. I think we've got a good aggressive deck, and I'm happy to see it actually, for once, doing the thing. We're going. Albert 77 Satoru. Okay. Little awkward to not have a 2-drop. We have not had a whole lot of opening hands with 2-drops, have we? Last game was the first one, and we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2-drops. But we've got 3-drop and a 4-drop, and we've got lands. We will take it. Still love that 2-drop. Got a, like, 1 in 4 chance of drawing one. Well, you know what? We'll take it. It's something to do with our mana. I know it's like the flavors that you're feeding the dogs so they come there and whatnot. I just feel a little weird about cracking open a hunk of meat and puppies coming out. Kind of like the sort of body and mind, as I will steal the joke from the lovely Cameron of Loading Ready Run. Son, you're full of puppies, and that just ain't right. Alrighty. I think we will... what could they flip this up into? For 4 mana. Can't be the 3/3. I don't think there's much with more than 2 toughness, so I'm gonna try. I might be very wrong. Okay. That is more than 2 toughness, but not enough to kill it. We can live with that. I think we'll run out the Museum Night Watch, since the flying isn't going to get through at the moment. The next turn, probably haunch up the Detective and disguise out the Creeper. Ooh, or we could do another inside source, but I do think getting the Creeper down is going to be quite solid. So, yeah, we equip for 2. But they're just going... Never mind, because they're just going to trade with whatever is equipped anyway, I have to imagine. So, attack, attack. Trade something, or not. Just let 2 through, okay. Market Watch Phantom. And disguise out the Creeper. Got a lot of little things. Here, I will equip up the Phantom, since we can jump it. And I think we'll play the other inside source to jump it. We'll be a little sad if we draw a Delny, but... And then trigger flying again! So this could flip up into a 3/3 Death Touch and give Indestructible at this point, so we will attack with just the 3/2 and the 4/2 for the time being. Ah, Vengeful Creeper. Alright. Fizzle our attack and kill one of our more powerful things. Fair enough. You know, I've got one of my own, and I forgot that it was 6 mana. On the bright side, they don't have fantastic attacks there. We can... Ooh, okay. But I think we will probably inside source the Phantom and play another Phantom to jump it. Just try and get through in the air. We might try an all-out attack next turn, flipping up our Creeper. They're still at 18, so we've not been able to beat down as successfully as we would like. Combat trick? Ah, very effective combat trick. Okay. I think that will probably be our doom. They have successfully managed to get a lot of value out of their board and still have a fair few more cards in hand than we do. Okay. Draw a land. I think we hold off and we'll just flip up. I think we'll just flip up the creeper end of turn no matter what. They are probably going to be attacking in. Yep. We will block here. And so what? They could give it +5/+5. I think we'll also throw the tokens. Oh, unless it's toxin analysis. I think they're not expecting it. So, yeah, let's block there. Flip it up. See if we trade. Give it indestructible. Okay, so we did have the right read, just on the wrong disguise creature. Yeah, they have just fantastically outvalued us. Okay, well, at least we get to destroy those. And I guess might as well run out the inside source. We can try inside sourcing the Griffknot tracker next turn and trade it for the Fairy Snoop, which feels bad, but... Okay. I think we triple block the 5/5. It should hopefully only kill 2 of them. And I don't think we try blocking to kill the Topiary Panther this turn. I think we'll do that next turn. And kill one of our things. Yep, I suppose there wasn't a disadvantage to quadruple stacking. Should have thought about that. Trade them off. Yep. Not great. So, I should take notes. I've played a lot of green-black and not met with this degree of success. I think a lot of what's helping them here is that they are doing valuable disguise creatures, which I think I have undervalued. The ability, as early game plays that can make people nervous, even if you're reluctant to trade them off, that also do have a lot of value late game. Well, we'll see. Got another combat trick for me? No. Just taking me to 4, and I've got a 1/1. And that will be game. Alright. Well, hey. 3-1. We're already into most of our gems back, so happy with that, but we will take the little pop on over into standard, play a little bit until we win, get that out of our system, shake out the losses. Dun, dun, dun. Not a keepable hand. This, I think, we can make work. Probably ditch a Gleeful Demolition. And then we will run out the Yoshin Soldier, the frontliner. It was interesting that the individual card reward I got earlier was a Kuldotha Rebirth, because it's essentially the same as Lethal Demolition, but uh, basically you sacrifice an artifact and make 3/1/1s. But I think I think Kuldotha Rebirth is actually a bit better. Yes, you can use this to destroy an opponent's. You can destroy something of the opponent's, but with the caveat. Ooh, actually, hold on. Do we just try and burst here with Imidane's Recruiter? Or do we wait so that we attack in and then we'll have 5 things to get down next turn? And, oh, and we can also reanimate the frontliner? Yeah, okay, we'll wait. I mean, I guess if they temporary lockdown us, we're sad. Or if they blow this up in response, which is what I was saying about why I think Kuldotha Rebirth is better. Yep, because Kuldotha Rebirth, the sacrifice is part of the cost, so there they just got to kill 2 of our things, essentially, for the price of 1. And they're Path of Periling us. Okay. Well, in that case, I think we just hold on and try and adventure Imidane's Recruiter. We're not in a great way. But we're not out of this game yet. These are also hard to Wandering Emperor. The Restless Cottage can block. Sunfall him. Okay. Now we have probably lost. I don't think we've got the tools to recover from this position. Because most of our card advantage is the Night Ranger of Eos. Oh my goodness. We attack in and we probably do just trade them because the manland is of more concern. And we don't even get the damage off of this. So even if we draw our sort of card advantage engine, it's not going to dig us into anything, kind of as opposed to Coco, right? Collected Company is fantastic because you can top deck it and with no board, rebuild and do some very scary stuff. Whereas the Knight Captain, while it has the advantage of being able to convoke it out super early, when you draw it on an empty board like this, you don't get any value. We could have held it until we got some tokens out, but I don't think that would be winning us much. Because I think our tokens will probably die very quickly. Yep, and they're just going to grind us out with the Fortress. We can try Imidane's Recruiter. If we had had the extra land to play with there, I think we would be feeling good. Yep, I'm just going to scoop it up and save everyone's time. Let's see. This is why we take the break in between rounds. We get the losing out. Go another time. Let's get in the winning mood. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Ezkerp. Okay, frontliner into Knight Captain. But reasonable chance that we draw another card to slot in there somewhere. I think we can keep it. I think we're hoping for another 1-drop. I guess we could maybe a 2-drop. So our recruits, I think, could also be decent here. This is not a great hand against blue-white control, since we are not going to be able to vomit stuff out fast enough, although I suppose we weren't going to dodge a temporary lockdown anyway. Stop. You know, I feel like if this deck had a way to destroy temporary lockdown, it would be a lot better against the blue-white matchups, because it feels like they have one every time in hand. Okay, here I think we're safe to get an Nimpa down. And then we have them buff each other, so they would need to double block, and we make a gnome. I mean, they're going to wrath us next turn, like, almost 100%. Otherwise, they might have tried trading. But even if the deck did have an answer to the temporary lockdown, since a lot of our board comes in the form of tokens, I'm not sure it would be enough. Like here, it would be great because we could get back both of our frontliners, but I think we'll actually just Sokens in, attack in with everything. We make 2 gnomes. They did miss a land drop. I'm gonna try doing the Gleeful Demolition, make some goblins, because unless they have another temporary lockdown, they probably don't get to Wrath again this turn. Yes, now that gives them access to depopulate, but most people are just running Sunfall, right? Okay, they do have the other temporary lockdown. But now a Nimpa gets to survive. And we can try... This isn't as big as we'd like, since the tokens come in after. I love a Nimpa. I don't think she's actually that fantastic in the deck, but she does dodge temporary lockdowns, which is quite big. They have another Wrath, we're simply dead. If not, they're simply dead, but that's Sunfall mana. No! We win, right? Even if they temporary lockdown, we'll be left with 2 creatures, one of which makes 4 of them. Okay, I think we'll attack with everything, and then just draw with the clue. Yep, okay. They removed before declare attackers, I would potentially reconsider, but now they're dealing with all those gnomes. Get gnomed. Guess they could Lauren's Path. Gain some life, but even then... Okay. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Okay. Blue-white can stumble. It happens. That needs to be the motivational poster. If the first temporary lockdown doesn't get you, and the second one doesn't get you, the third time, you'll get them. You'll get them. Something along those lines. Note, I should probably not be hired to make motivational posters. But, fantastic. Okay. We have once again won a match. So let's return to our draft and keep up that energy. Keep up the surviving a double wrath and still killing them energy. We almost did the other day with the double ill-timed explosion. Yadar. We're going first, and we have a 2-drop into a 3-drop. My word. Not guaranteed to win, but... ooh boy. Did you know that there are 2-drops in this format? Sometimes. I feel like some decks forget. Gonna kill it? Long goodbye? Okay. You kill 1 creature, we will play 2 more. We would love to draw some non-lands. But hey, we're almost to the Hellion. And we'll get to Griffknot Tracker. Smack on in. And play 3-power flyer. And exile your removal spell. No collection of evidence. Okay. Like that they're cycling. Next turn, we get to make an... It's other creature. We've learned this. Yes, other creature. So, ooh. So we can make a 7/7. Or we can do Diligence and get aggressive that way. But I do think Crowd Control Warden is a better use of our mana. So we will try it. They might murder, but it presents a very big and scary threat. I think we even actually attack with the Inside Source, since it can trade with the Repeat Offender. Yup. Okay. You have an answer for our 7/7. Here, we actually would like to draw a land, because then we can disguise out Riftburst Hellion, and also we can do Diligence up. I want to put it there, because if they do try and remove it in response, I think we're the most okay with it. And we'll also hit the Griffin. We're just trying to make this hard for them to murder. Okay, they do that. Totally fair. We're now getting extra damage off that. We're a lot happier with that. We're a lot happier with that scenario, because now our Inside Source is a much better creature. And we will disguise out. There is the Black Wrath. We might be fighting the Black Wrath. I don't think they would be spending this much removal. Yep, okay. Boot successfully on Throat. No struggling out. 4 wins. The real target of any Premier draft. Fantastic. We also haven't even really been using our rares. Got 2 fantastic aggressive rares and have hardly seen them. Which is alright. I don't know how many of the green investigator, the 2-mana 2/2, I have. Because I want to mess around with mono green in standard. Blade Juggler. I mean, like, we don't have a Yorvo to really make it pop off. Oh, hey, Delny. We probably can't keep you. Unfortunately. A Tipster, 3 green, and 3 white spells. Does not a game plan make. Whereas this, I think, can do some things. Question is, what do we ditch? This is a fantastic 7-card hand, because we get to play a Plains, play a Forest, probably gun for the Market Watch Phantom, next turn doing Tunnel Tipster, possibly doing another 2-drop, and then we get to hold that up and go into Crowd Control Warden. I like the removal. I think what makes this hand good is the potential to be very explosive and beatdowny. So I think shipping off the protection lets us be most in line with our game plan. And we draw some other removal that we're very happy to see, because that fits very nicely into our curve. Or fits very nicely into the options that we want to be looking at. Okay, Woyak Investigator. The one that did nothing for us when we played it. So unfortunately, we are not going to get to... We don't get to fight in like we were hoping. But next turn, we can... Oh no, I guess that's going to be 1 mana short. I was thinking, oh, we can bury it in the garden and disguise out the Crowd Control Warden. But we cannot, alas and alack. But I do think we need to take care of it. 4 toughness is an awful lot for us. Or we could Griffknot Tracker and then do the Buried in the Garden Disguise out next turn. And then we get to crack in for a whole lot more damage. So, okay. I've been bad and not thinking through my lines as well. So if we do that, we get rid of the thing that can block it, we're cracking in for a lot more damage. We do probably block the Museum Night Watch with the 2/2. Then we Buried in the Garden, that's a 2/2, so they then get to attack in with their 2/2 and whatever else they're doing. Alternatively, we could run out a 6/6 right now, or we could just get rid of it and attack in, potentially trading, and then next turn... Yeah, I think it's better to bury this turn. Doesn't feel totally right, but... They don't block here, because they're dealing more damage, I have to assume. Okay. I think we're overall okay with that. That means we're taking less damage this turn, and we don't have to be worried about a combat trick. I am concerned. They're playing Sundering Titan Slaves. We have land-based removal. So we have access to 7 mana next turn. So I think we run out the Griffknot Tracker. We get the Exile. And then we will disguise out the Crowd Control Warden, which grows our Tunnel Tipster. Even though we could flip it up, even though we can cast it and flip it up for the same cost. And it does make it more vulnerable. It does increase the likelihood that this will become a relevant body later on in the game. They have 4 cards in hand still. And goodness knows what that disguise creature is. Going to hit our face down? No. Okay. So this is still a 5/5 for the time being. And that would be very bad for them if this was the Vine Lurker. Okay. Get some lifelink. Does indeed make our life a bit more difficult. Delny. Unfortunately, Delny will not cause the Crowd Control Warden to double trigger because the ability occurs once it's turned face up and a 4/4, but this does give us an extra point of power and toughness, and if we draw some of our other creatures that can do some ludicrous things that have 2 power. Well, we draw some of our... Man, cannot remember their name. Inside sources. We've got 3 of them. We get to make 2 2/2s. But we really do want a way to deal with the flying. A Rift Burst Hellion, I think, would be fantastic. Honestly, we might just be trading here. I think we just played a 3 mana 2/2. They may play a combat trick, but we need to stem the bleeding. Yeah, that would have been especially heinous if we didn't block. Okay. Wow, really needed to hit something there. So this just gets to chip in and kill us. But attacking, we just kill a Gorehound. Locking, we probably just kill a Gorehound. Attacking, we might not kill a Gorehound. But maybe that's okay. We try and trade with the detective here. We take 3. That doesn't entirely change the clock. And maybe they just play a Vein Ripper. Okay. We are probably DED. Capital D, D-E-D, dead. Yeah, even if we drew the Hellion, it can block that, but then both of these get through. All right. Good game. You played a fantastic 6-mana mythic. You get that one. Okay. Back over to Standard, where there's hopefully not as many 6-mana mythics. Only the 6-mana rares, like Sunfall. No, that's... Farewell. Goodness. I'm fighting... Wait, am I fighting my mom? Or am I fighting your mom? I'm not sure. I think this is keepable. A wee bit awkward. I think we will lead with the white and the Novice Inspector, because while I do like keeping this up for Gleeful Demolition, well, never mind. Now that we actually know, we play the red source first, so that next turn we can Gleeful Demolition and Novice Inspector. Ooh. Are we facing Boros Double Strike? Are they going to be doing some fancy schmancy Angel Fire Ignition stuff? So Cholera, this might be that deck you're talking about that wants to run the Angel Fire Ignition. While I think it's probably not great sideboard tech for this iteration of Boros Convoke, doing something where you're keeping up a lot of protection and doing the double strike, I think you can do some very silly things with it. Monstrous Rage. Fantastic. Got some more combat tricks. Blessed Defiance. Okay, 14 damage. Do you have the last 6? No, but you do gain lifelink. That is pretty slick. I mad props. I think we attack in with only one thing so that we can get the gnome. And then we just leave everything else back on blocks for now. This is sweet. Vulnerable, but sweet. Unless they might... I assume they have some sort of protection spell. Picnic Ruiner. Interesting. Lauren's Escape. Hexproof and Indestructible. Okay. Right, and the... Oh my... Right, the trample sticks around. Well, if we do that... I think we're just chumping here. But yeah, so they did have protection in hand. Take up the shield. 1/1 counter. Lifelink and Indestructible. Okay. So we survive at 1. They're tapped out. So if we... if we drew the case that lets us Zot stuff, we could attack and then trigger it. Unfortunately, we do not. That's 10 double striking. They've got us. Very nice. I might try putting this together. That looks like a blast. That's the beauty of recording these things. I can go back and I can double check the cards they're running because I will forget. Okay. Something in Mandarin. So, Epicure, Frontliner, and Demolition it. Hope we draw a white source. That is a plan that can win games on occasion. So I know a while back I was talking about mulligans a lot in the limited format. I'm realizing well, I do think that mulligans are important in that context. I suspect a lot of what I was thinking about philosophy-wise applies a lot more to constructed, where you have a lot more. There's that white source. Heck yes. I think it applies a lot more to constructed, where you have more redundancy. Um, I'm a lot more comfortable mulliganing with the current green-white draft deck because it has a lot of 2-drops. So I am likely with seven 2-drops out of the I probably should have done the frontliner there still. Okay. 7 out of 40. We are man, it's been so long since I've done statistics. I will need to review it, but we're pretty reasonably likely, if we don't have a 2-drop in our first hand, to end up getting another 2-drop. Okay, they've ended our festivities. So, haha, and that's why I played the Novice Inspector. Definitely a big brain move. They're gonna shock it. Okay, we have probably lost now. But I think generally speaking, a lot of limited decks, because they don't have that consistency, while I do think I lost a number of games for having a hand that was too slow, I think it's still probably I think you're still probably better off dealing with the too slow hand than trying to mulligan into a hand that might just not be able to do anything. Because there is a lot more variance in limited decks. So is this like mono red burn control? That's also kind of sick. Brotherhood's End, yeah. I'm digging it. I mean, I know I'm part of the problem playing Boros Convoke right now, but it's sick seeing people playing some off-meta stuff, a lot of which seems to be attempts to be a meta killer to the Boros deck, which is fantastic. Okay, crack on in. Chip away. We'll play out the other one, probably into another End the Festivities or Brotherhood's End, but such is life. Ooh. And Proliferate. Ooh. That could be interesting. That could do some interesting stuff. Here we will attack in with both. I do like getting the Evangelist, since if they Wrath again, it will leave something behind. Volt Charge. Targeting. Okay. As soon as they aren't sending it to our face, I think we're feeling pretty good. Okay. Nice, and they... Oh no, I guess they don't trigger it this turn, unless they've... Okay, they've got to play. Rebel Salvo. For killing Shouldreds. And now they will be drawing 2 burn spells per turn. On the bright side, we do finally get our Case of the Gateway Express. Don't think we're going to be hitting any creatures with it. Do we Yoshin Frontliner this turn? So there's nothing we can draw that we aren't going to be able to slot it into, so might as well save it so for when we get an extra point of power off of it. Okay. Oh, right, it's 3 cards per turn. I forget about this. Urbask's Forge, very nice. So this is also probably relatively decent against blue-white control. the like the Forge, these die to Farewell, but I haven't seen as much Farewell in favor of just Sunfall to be dealing with the Convoke deck, so. But they are out of cards, and we have an extra 4 power in our bin, actually an extra 6 power, so. Kill you? Okay. I do love. Urbask's Forge is a card I love. I love things that just give like little incremental advantage like that. Um, because of things like Farewell, I've not. I've been having a very bad time playing those in Standard recently, and typically just kind of getting run over by Convoke, but. Oh no. They're fun. I like things that just slowly grind out advantage. You wouldn't know it from the decks I've actually played on stream, though. Alright. Going back to the draft. Will we get 5 wins? Who knows? Future us. Future us knows. Orange Dragon. So Red Dragon's Breathe Fire. Orange is in combination with it's sort of a red and yellow, right? I don't know if there's. Oh, there are yellow dragons. They did a whole, like. If I remember correctly, at least in 3rd edition, I think we do keep this hand. We've got Tipster into Inside Source and a Bite. At the very least, in 3rd edition, or 3.5, I think I remember reading about, like, yellow and purple dragons in one of the, like, sort of magazine supplemental things. And I believe, if I remember correctly, that yellow dragons actually breathed a cone of salt that slows you down. So I guess this is molten salt, which sounds markedly less pleasant. We've got the ability, so I think we will run out the Eavesdropper. And then next turn, we probably Phantom Inside Source, or maybe Inside Source Crack Clue, and then Bite the turn after. Maybe. It's a Moroi. So we could actually Bite next turn. Or I guess we could Bite this turn. I think we just Bite. I mean, that's a lot of damage in the air. And we probably get to attack in for an extra 2. Sweet. Okay, awesome. Was worried there, but that's what you want to be doing with fight spells. Mortipede? How mortifying. Well, we will crack our clue, make a 4/4 to attack in, and then a flyer. Gorgeous. So attack with the 4/4 vigilance. And then we exile stuff. Because, yeah, otherwise, if we played this first, we would actually be helping them out, and then they could trade. So that also makes it harder for them to collect evidence and get us that way. So actually, I really like that, in addition to being a flyer. Double Mortipede. Double-pede. Okay. For sure, we attack in for 3 in the air. Now the question is, do we play out the 5/5? If they do, they're not going to probably exile something from the graveyard next turn. It's going to be very contrived, and even then we couldn't block it. So I think what we do, actually... I think we play another 4 power of cards that can potentially fly. Oh, actually, we can also play the Seasoned Consultant, so that if they do attack, we crack back for even more. But yeah, so if we do this, they need to gain life, wrath our board, or kill one of our flyers. We are not blocking. They're going to raft the board. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh! Why do I call these things? Well, we'll run out the Vengeful Creeper. Oh, man. I think it was the right play. Okay, that hurts. I do think we made the right play. That's still... Damn! Oh, and a Death Toucher. Fantastic. I guess we could have held back. It's just... You do want to press for lethal. And they were playing stuff out. I don't think we had a genuine reasonable suspicion until the moment they attacked with both ortopedes. I should have blocked there and saved us some life. Well, we can play this, so at least we can block the cornered crook, but we can't really attack into Teysa. No attacks. I think we'd love a Buried in the Garden for the Teysa. But no, it's we should have blocked, but we didn't. Because they could have been attacking bluffing it, and then they find a way to... I guess they gained the life either way, so we should have blocked. Not blocking was a punt. I don't think playing out our hand the way that we did. I guess we could have held back the Seasoned Consultant. Was kind of extra. But it does help us race in case they find a way to pitch, like they play a Mountain Demand Answers, and then something that does... Ho ho ho. I think we only played poorly in hindsight, not in the moment. Galvanize their own thing to tutor. Pretty swifty. Well, we will collect evidence to make our thing a wee bit bigger. Let's get rid of the bite and the consultant. Like, our 10th district hero here could be fantastic. Give our other things indestructible. Because we've got a fully stocked graveyard for it, goodness knows. What are they gonna get? Demonic Tutor Unlimited. Ooh. Yep. That'll do it. We can't really block either of these effectively. I do think we hold off for a turn. Because we can chump next turn. Well, actually, yeah, so either way, we're currently dead on board. Make your move deals with the cornered crook. They're gonna make flyers, yeah. But we would have lost life anyway. Ugh. Frustrating to lose to a Wrath, but it happens. There are 3 of them in this format. And we made it to 4 wins! Huzzah! That's important. That is very important. Interesting. Afraid of the Tesa, even though we know that we really have to deal with the cornered crook, and we didn't have anything to deal with anything last turn. I think you normally should attack with the Tesa there. Pum pum pum. Okay. Yeah, so like 10th District Hero would give us an additional blocker. Then they crack clue on end step and fly in? No? Okay. We're not dead because we do have reach. And yeah, 10th District Hero would not have been enough for us. But I think that's us dead. So they do that, we can block one of the flyers. But then we're chumping these two creatures, take one, and we don't have a wrath like they do, so... I mean, we'll see. Let's make sure that they make the attack, since they seem a bit skittish. Or they murder it. Fantastic. Good game. Okay. Well, we went 4-3. Not the best we've ever done, but that means we live to draft another day. And I had a lot of fun with that deck. I would have really liked to pop off with the 10th District Hero. That would have been fun. No, we want to filter for Murders at Karlovmanor. Rare. And Mythic, sure. Yeah, 10th District Hero. Because, yeah, we had... Oh, I think we had the triple white. So we could have done that. If we got that before they had their... So Undercity Eliminator Exiles, but then we could have blocked more effectively. They probably would have killed it, but other creatures you control have Indestructible. Seems fantastic. I don't think Standard has a place for her, but would have been very fun to pop off with in the draft. Delny was a fun pickup. So it's in some ways better than a Panharmonicon for stuff. This, I think, is going to be a very fun brawl deck at some point. Just a bunch of little cheap things plinking away at you. Oh my, and we have a playset of Sharp-Eyed Rookie now. So I am curious. So if we do that, not sideboard, that's not what I was looking for, standard. This is just sort of me doing a little last minute thing. I am going to sign off after this, but I'm curious what mono green could look like. Probably another Axebane Ferox would be good. Because I think that is a good creature that... This is going to be good against black decks, I think, mostly. The Collect Evidence is relatively easy to get. I think mono green is just going to be too vulnerable to Wraths, is the unfortunate dealio. Ascendant Pack Leader might be good still. I remember that was pretty decent. Cast the spell with mana value 4 or greater. So going, yeah, more on the mid-rangey thing, which I think probably just loses to blue-white control most of the time. So we've got the Sharp-Eyed Rookie as a really good 2-drop. Oh no, no worries. Again, I'm here doing a thing, and I appreciate when folks are also here and enjoying. If you chat, it's fun to have energy to bounce off of. If you're not feeling like chatting, no worries. I'm just happy if it's enjoyable to have me in the background, bopping along, making some background noise for you. Um, okay, Cosmic Hunger as like a removal spell, since it's nice and instant, and is a punch. Yeah, I guess I don't. I guess my entire plan really was just sort of sharp-eyed rookie, but I really want there to be just a good old mono green beef deck. Axebane Ferox looks good. I don't think it's good enough in the current environment. It's not Questing Beast, right? It's good. It's reminiscent of Questing Beast, but it's not as good as Questing Beast was by a long shot. Um, Especially with the sheer number of board wipes that we've got around. And I think we would probably just lose to enchantments and a lot of the other aggro decks. I don't know. I will think on this off stream. There's Polukranos. Polukranos is nothing to sneeze at. But again, it's whenever it dies, so it gets exiled. Yeah, I don't know. I'll mess around with it at some point, but we're getting there. Our collection is growing, and we live to draft another day. I had a blast. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I will be back in the afternoon at 2 p.m. Pacific time for some more Undertale. We went on a date with Papyrus yesterday, which was kind of unexpected, but quite fun getting to learn a bit more about the skeletons, or lack thereof, in his closet. But thank you much, and have a lovely rest of your day if I don't see you again. Bye.